This is Daryl Evans. I'm with Nelsom Emerson, who's the head of the player development for the Los Angeles Kings. Prospect Camp 2013. Nelson, a new crop of kids come in this year. Talk a little bit about your first impressions of the kids that you've seen.
Well, first of all, Daryl, it's a lot of fun. I mean, every year we get a new group of players, and that really keeps you fresh and excited. And this group, the one thing that we can say about all the groups that have come through here, the kids put in a lot of effort and they work hard, and I think that's because they have such great examples from the prior years.
I know when you look at it, the organization as a whole, the Kings, they have a lot of philosophies. You're the first kind of part of delivery and delivering that to these young kids as they become Kings for the first time after most recently being drafted just a couple of weeks ago. How important is to introduce them to that this early in their careers?
Well, it's huge. I mean, right from day one, we tell them the philosophy of Dean's philosophy, and then obviously Daryl Sutter's philosophy, and we want them to play the Kings way. And the Kings way is being a team that's tough to play against. And you saw the playoff series the last 2 years and how the Kings battle. They never give up and make plays. All the Kings players make plays, and they're counted on and put pressured on and to make the right play. The kids have to know what the next play is and be ready to make it and make it under pressure. So it's a lot of hard work in the trenches, but getting out of the trenches and making the right play is what Kings do.
And when you look at the period of time here that the players are here in this prospect camp, really it's a short period of time. There's been a lot thrown at them. They have a lot to digest, but it probably really sets the stage for the way that they're going to train the rest of the summer.
Well, think about it. They're tired probably now, and it's day 4, and we give them a lot here in these days. But think about it. Think about playing 3 games in 3 days in Manchester. Think about playing back-to-back in Chicago in the NHL playoffs this season. I mean, think of how tired and how grueling that was to be in LA Kings during the playoffs when you're flying and doing all that. So right here is teaching a little bit about that, about being a pro, about getting the most out of it, even when you might be a little tired or drained.
And I think as the Kings, they've got to feel pretty important as well, because through the course of the year, even though you introduce them to all these things, you guys as a group headed by yourself, you really follow through on this stuff. You go watch the kids and you're constantly in contact with them.
Yeah, and Michael Connell does a great job with our group in Manchester, and he's been great here working with all of us here with the player development. He has tons of experience, and all these kids, it's such a rewarding job to see them do well, and you and yourself are a part of it, and Mike Donnelly, Glenn Murray, it's such a rewarding experience when we see these kids come from today, when we first have them here this week in development camp new, and then 3 or 4 years later they're helping the LA Kings win games and win playoff series. It's I can't imagine a more rewarding job in hockey.
Yeah, it really is. And you talked about that. You talked about Tyler Toffoli that got a chance to play in the regular season. He got to play in the playoffs. And then you look back at him scoring his first goal as a group. You guys must take a lot of pride in it. And I know there's a lot of interaction between you guys, and those guys hold you guys in high regard for the way that you've prepared them and playing for the NHL.
Well, I think so, and it's because we can develop this communication right from now. And we'll go watch these kids play in junior. I was in junior when Ty scored 5 goals in a game once, and and then to see him score his first one in the NHL, it's a long road, but like you said, it's for these kids, you feel a part of them when they actually get to the NHL and they are successful. You really do. And we have some low times too when the player's struggling, and you try and help with them and live them through that moment. But like you said, walking in the locker room when these kids get their first call up, whether it's Andrew Campbell last year or Muzzin, and obviously Ty and Pearson, when they get their first call up to the NHL, I mean, it is their lifelong dream to put that jersey on, and to feel like you're a part of it is special.
Well, Nelson, you've done a great job with this young group, and we look forward to the future development of the Kings that were just the players that were just drafted by the Kings just a couple of weeks ago.
All right, thanks, Daryl.